What's up, everybody? We're back for another episode of the PG Sports Podcast. Mina Elias of MMA Nutrition. We're going to chop it up about him coming to the U.S., him going to college and at UNH, how he created MMA Nutrition, his move to Cali, all that good stuff. Let's see. What's up, Dave? What's up, Davey? About to have a cool episode today. Yo, what's up?
How's it going, man?
How's it going?
Good, good.
You can see me. You can see me good.
Yeah, man, everything is good. How you been out there?
I'm doing good. You know the weather out here. It's
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and down. It wasn't warm out. I mean, I think it's warm out now, but it was kind of chilly this morning.
Yeah, what is it like 50s now?
Yeah, it's like 50. It's like I think it's like 60 now though.
That's not bad, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah, how about you? How's Cali been?
Amazing, man. It's like been 80s,
Yeah, I can't even text you no
beach.
more. Like I don't even want to know.
Yeah, man. The weather's just it's so good, man. It makes everything so much nicer out there.
Does it remind you of home at all?
Nah, home's like way hotter and sandy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This is like the perfect in between, you know? It's like
Yeah,
it's not too hot, it's not cold. You can always go to the beach. There's like a nice breeze.
yeah, definitely. I'm going out to Arizona this year for PG Sports. What? I don't know what that means, but all right. Um, Yeah, let's just go into it. How I know you're from Egypt. So how'd you get over here to the U.S.?
So, back in 2011, I applied for college. I was accepted in a bunch of places. I was gonna go to Canada first, to Toronto, but I didn't know that it was gonna be horrible, right? And super cold over there.
Yeah,
But luckily, I got rejected. For like my visa got rejected, so I ended up coming to America as like my second option.
yeah,
And UNH, obviously know UNH. They were like super easy. They're like, yeah, yeah, you can come, you're accepted, blah blah blah. Like, they didn't even like say you have to like do anything. So I just basically like sent them my paperwork and they approved me, gave me a scholarship right off the bat. Probably because they're like looking for money.
yeah.
And then yeah, man, I just accepted it. Came out here 2011. Was in Connecticut since December, and then I moved to California.
Yeah. What about just like tell me because I don't know what was like life growing up in Egypt
So I
like?
grew up in Dubai, man. It was
Oh,
sick.
Dubai.
Yeah, it was super sick, man. Like everything is nice and clean and new, super safe. There's a camera on every corner. Um, everything was like brand new. Like like everything was like five-star hotels. You'd go anywhere you'd go was just like everything is marble, shiny. It was cheap. There was a lot of jobs, a lot of abundance. They had everything. Like they had gardens, beaches, islands, like everything.
That's crazy. What about
Desert, desert.
what was high school like for you?
It was cool, man. High school was up until like maybe ninth grade. I wasn't like super social in high school. And then like around like the end of ninth grade is when like I started getting popular. And then ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, that was amazing, man. Four awesome years. You don't have to worry about anything. Your parents paying the bills.
Yeah,
Life is good, right? You get like $20, you're like the happiest person.
yeah,
Spend it on whatever you want, food, go out with your friends. So
yeah.
life was simple, man. Life was simple back then. Everything was good.
True. Yeah. This is my bad. I was like looking for something. I was looking for the soundboard. So yeah, had to get that going. But yeah, so that's dope. Yeah. No. What about like when you got over here first? Were you like
Oh, I was
did
shocked, man.
yeah? Did you come to the U.S. before going to
No,
college?
never. No, it was my first time,
Mhm.
and I thought all of America was the same, right? I thought it
Yeah.
was like, because any country you go to, like the entire country is pretty much the same. But
Mhm.
you never know like how big America is until you're here, and I thought like Connecticut was gonna be the same as Texas is gonna be the same as California. Like they're all like the same, just like different areas. And I got to Connecticut and like the snow was like, you know, 6 feet high, and I got there like January 25th, and I
Oh,
was like, oh my God, man, it was like horrible. I said, I got there, it was cold. I was like super bundled up, right? Because my mom was like, oh, it's gonna be like cold, like you need to bundle up. So I had like, like four layers on, like a huge jacket, gloves, like this big hat, scarf, right? Like thermals and jeans, and it was crazy, and like big ass boots. And I got to the university at like 9 o'clock p.m. And they're like, go to this hall to pick up your keys. And I'm like, the hall's completely like closed. I'm like, oh man, like, it's my first night here. Like, where am I gonna sleep? Am I sleep on the street? And then the cops, like the campus police, showed up, and I was like, oh, awesome. I'm trying to get my keys because they're like, what's this guy doing
mm.
with his bags on campus in the middle of the night? And so they took me to the dorms, and the RAs had the keys and stuff. Yeah, but my first day, man, it was just like shock from the beginning. And then you go into like a freshman dorm, and like
Yeah.
everyone's like bumming and like eating pizza and shit. It was weird, man. It was definitely
Yeah.
not something I was used to.
Did you have a roommate freshman year?
Yeah, I lived in like a suite with 5 rooms.
It was
So we
just
were like,
random
there
people.
was, yeah, 10 of us, yeah, random people, and I shared like a tiny like 10 by 10 room
Yeah.
with someone. Like, you get like the 2 beds in the room. Yep.
So did you know what to expect like from college? Like,
Nah, bro. I
uh,
mean, I watched shit like 90210 and stuff like that. And you're like, "Oh man, like America's amazing, right?"
yeah,
But when I showed up there, it wasn't like that. I mean,
yeah.
California is like that.
You came to University of New Haven. It's in West Haven, which
Yeah.
everybody I don't know if everybody knows that it's in West Haven. It's not. It's in the worst part of West Haven also,
Yeah.
um, which is funny. I think it's kind of weird. I think a lot of colleges are in bad areas, which is I don't that doesn't make
How does
sense.
that happen? Yeah, how
I
does that
don't
happen?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what else? What other schools? I know you kind of mentioned, but what other schools were you looking at? Like, how'd you pick Connecticut? Or you just
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
it was just the same? Like, you just thought everything.
No,
I know you said you thought everything was the same, so you were just like, all right,
so I applied to like some
Connecticut.
good schools. I no, I applied to some good like Ivy League schools, right? And
Yeah.
like Stanford, Princeton, UCLA, University of Texas, Austin, shit like that. I got into all of them, and then I applied like to a bunch in like Canada and like London and Australia. So I applied to like a bunch of places because I wasn't gonna stay in Dubai, and I was like, I don't know which country to go to. Let me apply everywhere. When you're like in high school, you're trying to apply to a bunch of schools.
Mm.
And I'm like, whatever I get accepted, like I'll pick from those. And so I was like, I'll pick Canada because I got some friends there, and since I have like friends there, it's gonna be easy for me like to make friends and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. So I said, I'm gonna go to Canada, and I accepted Canada, like University of Toronto, denied all the other schools, and then like I applied for the visa, and they rejected me. I was like the only one out of my all of my friends, right, who got
Mm.
rejected.
Yeah.
Just my luck, man. And then way back, like in like senior year, UNH had come to like the hall, like the or like our exam hall or whatever, and they
Yeah.
were like handing out brochures. And I was talking to like one of the recruiters. He's like, "Oh man, UNH is amazing. We live right next to the beach." And I was like, "Oh, all right. Like this looks like a cool school, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna go there. Like
Yeah.
I was in accepted in better schools, but then once I was rejected, I called all these other schools in America, and they said, no, you gotta wait a year and then reapply, and you might not get accepted because you're 1 year late, and you know how like Ivy League schools are like cutthroat. So I
Yeah.
was like, shit, I got desperate, and so I hit up UNH just like out of desperation, and they said, oh yeah, like your shit like is accepted. You don't even need to like reapply or anything. We'll give you a full scholarship, all that stuff. Even though I didn't get a full scholarship, like they just gave me like a full
Yeah.
academic scholarship. I still had to pay like a shit ton of fees. Um, so at the end, I was like, whatever, man. Like I'm so desperate. I just wanted to get out, and I said, all right, I'm gonna go to Connecticut. So I
Yeah.
ended up coming there, and bro, it was, definitely not the best choice, but I'm glad that, I'm blessed now. But
Yeah.
yeah, like looking back, it was just like I was stupid.
Yeah, they just wanted to put you down too. They were just like, all right, we got another person from a different country. Like, put that down
Yeah,
as the
yeah, and
put you
money,
down
and
as a
you're
stat.
paying the international fees and stuff. Yeah, I
Yeah,
paid a lot of money.
they want to put you down as a stat. That's what
Hmm.
they do. And they're like, oh, we got people from 50 different countries here.
Yeah,
Come here,
exactly.
come through.
Well, that's the guy was like an international recruiter.
Yeah,
He literally was just touring like all the Middle East and everything, trying to
yeah,
bring people to UNH.
yeah. Yeah, see, I think it's obviously good, but I think it's bad when like they're probably getting bonuses if you come. So that's like
Probably,
obviously
yeah.
that's not cool. You're just like you're moving a million miles away from home.
Yeah, man. And the guy like sold me UNH like it was like in the best city ever with like water and
That's just
the
so funny. Just
best.
like
They
being
said
from
we
here,
have
that's
the
so funny.
he said we have the best restaurants, in New Haven and all this stuff and I'm like, yeah, I didn't expect it. I should have like checked like the lifestyle and the weather, but you're 17, 18 years old, you don't know anything, man.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, when I came out of school, I didn't apply to UNH, but I mean, I lived here, so I
Yeah.
knew the deal over there.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You had to kind
Uh,
of stay local.
yeah. What about like yeah? What was your just like overall experience in college?
It was good, man. I honestly had a blast. Freshman year was a little bit rough, because I was just like put in that dorm, and
Mhm.
they weren't like really social, so it was kind of a bit of a struggle to make friends initially.
Yeah.
And but then eventually I met a couple people, and they were like super social. They're like, oh yeah, well, like I thought like college was gonna suck, right? Because these people didn't talk to me much. I went to class. I was an engineer. Anyone who was in engineering was like a nerd. So it was like, I wasn't meeting any cool people. And then finally I met a couple people. Yeah, I met a couple people, through the gym and stuff like that. And then like things got good. And then sophomore, junior year, senior year, that was, straight up partying all the time. It was a ton of fun, man.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely think other schools like can party better, but given like that it was UNH, I think I had a blast. And so college was good. It was very, very easy,
Yeah. Oh, it was easy.
yeah, UNH was yeah,
Schoolwork?
I was a chemical engineer, man, and it was like nothing. Like, you had like some classes where you struggled, but it was so easy, man. Like, I was able to like party 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not do anything on Sunday. And I still like got super good grades. Um, but yeah, man, so it was
Maybe you're just
easy.
smart.
I don't know, man. It was easy. You could cheat. Like there was a ton of like UNH didn't care, man.
Oh man! All right, before
Yeah.
we get off the UNH, like, tell me, just give me some laughs. Like, where were your spots, like your go-to spots in West Haven, New Haven
Man,
area?
my house was my go-to spot. We used to throw like huge parties, yeah. In sophomore year, I met like a couple people that lived in a house. It was called IHOP. It was called the International House of Parties, right? And like I got close with the guys because I used to like help them cheat in engineering class. And basically a year later, I ended up moving there, and we used to like throw crazy parties, like kegs. We had a bouncer, we had a DJ. There used to be like 500 people that show up to the party. We always got shut down like towards like 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, but a few people would stay after the everything was shut down. But it was amazing, man. We had a good time. That was fun. Bar used to be really fun, and then it just got flooded by creeps. Now it's all creepers. Now I'd never go to bar, but bar was fun. Um, there was this place, Enchiladas was lit. A lot of Quinnipiac people used to go there. So that was like kind of like a change of scenery from
Mhm.
seeing people from UNH. And then what was that one? There was like this other bar that had like 50 cent, I think it was like 50 cent wings on Tuesdays and free beer, something like
Uh,
that. Or it was like beer, it was like cheap beer and free wings, something like that. It was
what about?
crazy.
Did you ever go to Toad's place?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the freshman year vibes. Yeah,
Classic.
it was so sticky in there, man. It was yeah. It was a sketchy scene, but we had to do it.
I'll never forget one time my roommates went there and then they didn't realize it was like 16 overnight.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's underage, and Dude, it's just nasty in there. It smells like puke everywhere.
Someone
But
said only person who says chemical engineering is easy. It's you.
yeah, I don't know, man. I think
Yeah,
maybe it's just
how'd you
me.
pick that major?
Honestly, man, I knew I wanted to do something in engineering,
Mhm.
but I didn't know what I liked. I kind of liked chemistry a little bit, but I kind of just picked it because it seemed like it was going to be something cool, you know?
Mhm.
But little did I know it was like, chemical engineering and mechanical, all that stuff is like very similar. Um, and I was a little bit swayed by like how so many people are like, oh, chemical engineering, you'll make a ton of money, which is not the case. You can make a ton of money in anything. So.
Pretty
That's
much.
kind of how I picked it. Yeah, I mean, when you think about
That's
it,
how I
like,
hated it. Some people did that too. I remember
yeah,
they were like, "Oh yeah, accounting." They make that, and then I'm like, "Yeah, you're gonna hate your life.
yeah,
Like,
I
go
like
crunch numbers."
people were telling me, oh, you should be like a petroleum engineer. You're gonna make a shit ton of money. You should be this. You should be that. And man, you never really understand when you're 18, like what
Yeah,
you're getting yourself into.
that's why I think the most valuable majors are like the ones that have actual. I don't know, maybe you did too. Like you actually go on site,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
nursing
yeah.
majors and stuff like that. They had to go to clinicals. I don't know. Did you have to do anything like that?
We didn't have to, but
Yeah,
they like highly recommend that you do an internship. I did an internship. It was cool. I liked
yeah,
it. But it wasn't like
yeah. It's all good. What's
let
up,
me do.
Kyle?
So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I felt like I was even behind when like junior year they told us to get internships. I don't know. I forgot if I got one junior year or senior year. But yeah,
But
this
the issue is, man, like I think in high school they gotta take you and be like, here, like go, for like a week, work here as a with some chemical engineers, work here with some
yeah,
whatever, and kind of like see how it is, versus, you know, like third year of college, you're already 3 years deep into the in your like study, and you end up fucking like realizing, yo, this is not like what I want to do. Now what? You're screwed. You're just gonna have to finish, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, the first 2 years of college are bullshit anyway. So
Hmm.
I don't know if this is a serious question. What kind what kind of pepper is in immune defense?
Yeah, I don't know what that means, man.
Well, anyways, so how'd you get into MMA and like yeah mixed martial arts and training and stuff?
So actually, my boy, like, so I always like that kind of stuff, and I always ask my parents. I said, hey, can I do like kickboxing? Can I do this? Can I do that? And they never like you know let me. They said, "Oh, you look at what happened to Muhammad Ali. He's like now in a wheelchair, like he's
Mhm.
brain dead, blah blah blah. Like, you don't want to end up like that." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." Then I came to I came to college, and my boy's like, "Hey, man, I tried I tried MMA and it was amazing." And I said, "Okay, I'm definitely gonna try it then." So I looked up, and you remember Renzo Gracie?
Yeah.
So Renzo Gracie was like a mile from my house. So I looked it up and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna sign up. I went there and they're like, do you want to try a class or anything? I said like, no, I'm ready to sign up. They're like, how about you just try a class at first? So my first class I did was like a wrestling class. That was cool. And then as soon as I was done, I signed up for a year, and I never looked back, man. I fell in love with it.
Who'd you first? You just went by yourself?
Yeah, I just went alone. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. You're crazy. You just go all in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't care. I wanted to
Why
do
don't?
it.
Yeah. What is that? Is that like where do you get that from? Because I feel like every time you do something, you're just like, nah, I'm just
Oh
going all
yeah.
in,
I
which
have
is
no
good.
idea. Yeah. That's how I am with everything, man.
Yeah.
I have no idea where it comes from, but um, I don't know. I think it's because I like messed up so many times that now it doesn't even matter if I mess up.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's like
got you.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, people say a lot of things and then just don't start it, and you just have to start stuff.
Yeah. I just do stuff and then worry about it later. People
Pretty
like
much.
worry about every single possible scenario. I'm like, I don't care, man. Like I'll deal
Yeah.
with it. Yeah, I like have the confidence to know like whatever is gonna come my way, I can deal with it. No problem. I dealt with worse.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. What about yeah? So how'd you end up going to Nick's gym?
So, Renzo Gracie, like it was me and Justin, right? Pretty much left in Renzo Gracie. Um, I think like a lot of people were not happy with that gym over there, and people just started dropping like flies, leaving, leaving, leaving. At the end of the day, it used to be me and Justin, and then like maybe a couple other random people. And obviously like Justin's too good for me, and so he's like not getting any benefit. We weren't even like being taught by like the main coach. So kind of like both of us were like, yo, like we're not getting any benefit, Justin's just crushing me all the time. So he's not getting a benefit. I'm just getting crushed all the time. Like I'm not really like, learning much. I mean, I was learning, but like, it wasn't like a gym. Like there was something wrong. So me and him went on like this whole like tour of all like the gyms around us to see which one's the best. We went to like Cruvenel, this, that, like all these gyms, and then Justin's like, "Yo, I found this gym right next to where Henzo's used to be, and it's a pretty sick gym." And I said, "Okay, I'll try it out." And so he really liked Nick, and he liked like the way he was teaching and stuff. So I like did a 1 day trial or whatever. I think he like gave me a week trial, but I did a 1 day trial and I was like, you know what, man, Justin likes it. It's right next to my house again. I'm just gonna stay here. And so, I picked that gym. End up with Nick. Honestly, it was the best decision I made, because I think like Nick's gym is the best in that whole area. Like,
Mhm.
I think yeah, pretty much like in like New England, it's as good as it gets. There's some other like really good gyms out there, but Nick, especially for me, Nick's curriculum was like perfect because Nick, some gyms like Black House here in California, you show up to the gym, no one's gonna tell you anything. You're just gonna go in there, you're gonna listen, and you're gonna go out, and no one cares about you. But in like Nick's gym, it kind of takes you from the ground up. It's like he builds that foundation, he builds that mindset of like never quit, work hard, no excuses, all those things, right? All those like good habits, he builds them. In other gyms, you probably won't get that. Like, so yeah, there might be other gyms like with UFC fighters, all that stuff, that like yeah, you can get like some more advanced training there, but at the same time, it depends on like where you are in your career. If you're like an advanced fighter, you go to those gyms, you'll be fine because you already have built that foundation. But if you're just like starting out or like, beginner slash intermediate, Nick's gym was like the best place to be. So for my point in life, where I was at that time, that was the perfect place to be.
Hey, what, do you remember what year that was?
Damn, man, I think that was like 2016. Yeah,
Uh,
2016.
Gotcha. Um, yeah, and then tell me about after college. I know yeah, tell me about after graduation, you get a job, and then what
Oh
happens?
man, it was rough. So I graduated in 2014, right?
Yep.
Got a job. I applied to a bunch of places.
Hold up.
The,
Before you even tell me, what was your expectations coming to college? Like, what were your goals, and like, what were your parents' expectations?
Dude, I thought I was gonna come here, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna study, graduate, get good grades, right, in college. I'm gonna work my ass off, graduate. Gonna get a good job at a big company. Nice salary. I'm gonna move up, and then eventually become an executive, and then I'll have like the freedom if I want to like move back or whatever. And so, first of all, I got like hit in the head hard after. So, as an international
Yeah.
you can't be like without a job for 3 months. You have like, or you get kicked out of the country. Obviously, like those rules are like very lenient because they're probably going to be kicking out like criminals before they're kicking me out,
Yeah.
um, which I later realized. But anyways, I was afraid, so I applied to a bunch of jobs. Right, I didn't get anything. I got one interview. I went to that interview and they offered me like 35,000, and I graduated like the top of my class, chemical engineer, right? And I had like 2 years of experience by then, like working in big companies. But I don't know, man.
Is this
If
before your master's or after it? You got your
this is
master's, right?
before, no, this is
Okay.
just my bachelor's.
Okay.
And if I went back in time, um, you know, all I did was just like apply. I did like the normal stuff, right? I
Yeah. Yeah.
applied online. I Monster, LinkedIn, Indeed, like the job boards on the school. Obviously, like if I were to go back now, there's like way more things that I would have done differently.
Yeah.
But still, like what I did back then was adequate to get a job. But I only got that one offer. It's 35K a year. And I was like, damn, man, how am I gonna live off that? So I took that job, hated my life, right? For like 2 years pretty much. But they said, hey, like we're gonna sponsor you, we're gonna help you get your green card. So I was like, you know what? Like I'll do it. Like if that's what it takes, I'll do it. Um, so I got stuck in there. And then after that, I was like, you know what, man, I'm so miserable. I'm willing to they applied for like my paperwork and stuff, and it didn't go through because they pretty much pick like 60,000 people a year, and like 250,000 people apply. So I was like, damn, man, like, I got like there's almost no chance, like 20%, 25%.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it. And then I was like, all right, I gotta get the hell out of here. Like I can't stand this place. Um, so I ended up leaving and going to another job temporarily. In that other job, it was like a little bit of a pay bump, so I was happy. And that job, I was happy. It was like a 40-minute commute, which kind of sucked, but I was very happy because I was working with a friend. Everything was chill. Like I didn't have a boss that was telling me what to do. Because like there was no one above us. It was just like the CFO of the company, so he didn't really understand technical stuff. So it wasn't like I'm telling you what to do and you do it type
Yeah.
deal. It's like I trust you to get the work done, like, and you're gonna get the work done.
Yeah.
Um, so that was cool, but then the company shut down. So then I ended up going to this next job, right? And again, I applied to a bunch of jobs. This one was a good one, but it had nothing to do with I was in construction at that point. I was a manager in construction, and I was like, whatever, I told her, the boss, I said, I want this, 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 and this, and she said, okay, you can have everything that you want, like the salary that I want, the paid time off, everything. So it was good. I was like, wow, man, this is like amazing, right? I'm happy. But then I started like growing quickly in the company, and eventually I realized like, man, I'm getting run down. I was waking up every single morning at 4:30, hitting the gym, going to work, getting out of work, going to MMA to teach the kids class, doing MMA, coming back, just like taking a shower, going to bed. It was like a killer routine, It was basically I was getting like so burnt out just by doing that. And you get burnt out when you're doing stuff you're not passionate about. And then I remember at some point I had a conversation with the owner of the company, and she's like, do you see like yourself in my position in like 10 years? And I was like, yeah, sure. And and I was like, okay. I was kind of like, wow, that felt good, like that. Hey, I have a chance of like becoming like a man, like the like the highest person at the company. But then I on the drive home, I was like thinking about it. I was like, man, like if I think about it, that means that I'm just gonna be doing this for the rest of my life. Like waking up at 4:30, like the whole same. I was like, I don't have kids, I don't have a wife. Like imagine incorporating that into like what I'm already doing. I was like, this is gonna be like hell.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I was like, yeah, like this was not what's meant for me. And that's when I started MMA Nutrition.
Gotcha. So, do you have a side question? Do you have a plan to have kids at a certain age?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have kids. Just I'm not planning for it.
All right. No, I know because I talked to some people, and some people are like, "Nah, I gotta have it by like a certain by like
Nah,
34." All right.
nah. Every single plan I made has gone to shit. So I
Mina,
don't
no
make plans
plans.
anymore.
No
Yeah, I don't make
plans.
plans anymore.
All right, I like that. Yeah. So tell me about where'd you get the idea to come up with MMA nutrition, and then tell me like what it is.
So yeah, it's a supplement company. We sell hydrolyte, which is an electrolyte powder. Basically, like we're trying to grow a line into becoming like the leader in like supplements for competitive athletes. Mostly like a lot of performance products, but basically like just catering um, products to like athletes who basically I am my target audience, pretty much.
Mhm.
Someone who's like me, works out a lot, dedicated, not like just trying to like lose weight quick, like just someone who's like a cyclist, a triathlete, a runner, a crossfitter, something like that, MMA fighter, obviously. So I was in Egypt on vacation, and that was kind of like when I was like, man, I hate my job, I want to get out. And I was like scrolling, looking for protein powder, and my dad's like, what are you looking for? I was like, a protein powder. But and then I started like going into some technical stuff. I was like, yeah, but like this one says it's like it's concentrated. I'm not looking for something that has concentrate. I'm looking for something, you know. And then
Right.
he's like, man, he's like, you know what you can do? He's like, you can just like buy your own stuff and make it at home and sell it to your friends. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I already kind of do that. Like I was buying a bunch of like raw products and mixing them up at home. And he's like, yeah, he's like, why don't you make a business out of it? And I was like, a business? And I actually hit you up at that point, right? And I was like, man, let me look into this thing. And I texted you, I was like, man, how hard is it to like open up an LLC? And you're like, oh, like just go to LegalZoom.com and like open up an LLC. I was like, that's it? And you have a business? And you were like, yeah. So I was like, man, like if it's that simple for Paul, like, yo, I'm definitely doing it. And so I was like, fine, like let's do it. I said, let me look at how feasible it is to actually make this stuff. So I looked at how much the bags cost, looked at how much the powders cost, looked at how much all like this stuff cost, put it all together, and I was like, yo, I can actually come up with a product for like cheap and sell it for expensive. Obviously, no one tells you about like the marketing expenses and like you know, selling fulfillment fees, all that stuff. You think that you're gonna make the product for like whatever, $5, and then you're gonna sell it for like $25, and that's it, you know, but it's
Yeah.
obviously not the
Yeah.
case. There's like so many fees involved. So, anyways, I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna like, let's do it. Called a designer that I went to to college with, and I said, can you make like a logo and a label for me? She made a logo for me. She made a label for me, and basically like I bought the bags on Amazon, bought the scoopers on Amazon, bought everything on Amazon, and then I stuck like the labels on the bags. And so, like I posted on Instagram on Facebook. I said, "Yo, I have a company now. Like I'm selling supplements." And then this one guy hit me up, Lewis. You remember Lewis?
Yep. Yep.
And he's like, yo, I heard you have a supplement company. I'm gonna get you like a table at CES MMA, and you know, for free. Like just come, bring a banner, whatever. So you know, I pack up like 40 products. I made them at home. I bought a banner, and then you know, November 2nd, I head there. Like I built a website too. Went on Squarespace, made my own website. If you're trying to make a website, don't do it on Squarespace. I would do it on like Shopify. Obviously, like you know, looking back now, but whatever. I was like, you know, Squarespace. I'll make a website. So I went there with like 40 bags, and people bought 25. I was like, oh damn, like people actually like want to buy my stuff. I was surprised, right? I didn't think I was gonna sell anything, and the majority of the demographic there was all like drunk people. So I was like, man, if drunk people like are buying it, like yeah, I definitely have like a chance. So people were asking me like, yo, where can I buy this? Where can I buy this? And I was like, yeah, it's gonna be on Amazon soon, even though I had no idea how to get on Amazon or anything. And then I went home and I was like, yo, I have to get on Amazon. I buy all my stuff on Amazon. And then I went into like a deep dive on how to get on Amazon. You know, jumped through a bunch of hoops, eventually got on Amazon. And then I like pretty much started going to like a ton of events in New York City
Mhm.
to learn like how to sell my stuff on Amazon better. And there's so many like tips and tricks and all these stuff like that I picked up. I messed up so much, man, you know, but I still had my full-time job. So I was like, whatever, you know, I'm spending money on this product, and you know, if it fails, I'll make the money back. If not, whatever. You know, if it succeeds, then you know, hey, I have something good. You know, and it succeeded, and 6 months later, I was able to like quit my job.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. But going back, like, how did you like? Tell me about like the process of you actually making it and like testing it out.
So for the first thing was I made it at home myself, right? Just the same way I make all my other supplements, because like now that I own a supplement company, I can make whatever I want, right? Because my
Yeah.
manufacturer is my boy, so I get everything I want. But before that, I would buy like beta alanine alone, I would buy like betaine alone, I would buy creatine alone, and then I would mix them up in like a container, just so I can have the right amounts of the stuff that I want.
Yeah.
So I pretty much did the same thing, and then I tested it out on myself. And I was like, man, like, you know, I feel good, but I was like, it might be placebo because I made it.
Yeah.
So I gave it to a few friends, right? I said, yo, try this shit, you know, and let me know what you think. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And they were like they were like open to trying whatever. And they tried it and they're like, yo, man, this stuff like actually works well. Like I like it. And I was like, okay, cool, because like I made it. And like they're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you made it? I was like, yeah, yeah, like I actually like, made this stuff. Like, And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Like they just like kind of like, pushed it to the side like it was whatever. Um, and then after that, I was like, all right, I gotta start getting into like a more serious scale. So after the November 2nd event, I contacted a bunch of people. One of those people was like the people who I bought the raw ingredients from. And I said, hey man, like I bought like these raw ingredients from you. Can you just mix them up for me in like a special formula? He's like, yeah, I'll mix them up for you. No problem. And I said, oh, okay, amazing. So basically, I was like, here's the formula, mix it up for me. I'll send you the bags, I'll send you the stickers, and then, get it done. And I sent him everything. He mixed it up, and that was it.
How many tries did it take?
Zero tries, man. It was an unflavored powder, so it
No. I'm
wasn't
talking
hard.
about like when you first made it yourself, like to taste good or not taste good, like.
Yeah, it never tasted good. Yeah. It was just an
Oh
unflavored
man.
powder. So I said, now that I'm in the flavor game, I actually like, oh man, flavoring is like such a hard thing. Now
Right.
I actually am sending my products I send my base to flavorists, expert flavorists. They work with the formula, they make the flavor, and then they sell me the flavor. And I actually buy the flavor from them, send it to the manufacturer, and he mixes it into the product.
No, it's dope. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
you just came out with like mango pineapple, right?
Mango pineapple, yeah, that should be out in the next 2 weeks. Corona kind of took a hit on that. I was supposed to launch it like a month ago, but then Amazon like froze everything. They said we're not accepting anything new,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of sucked. But now they're like, okay, you can send some in. So I'm sending some in, and then slowly from there sending in more and more and so on.
Yeah. So what about Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So where do you hold all this stuff? I know you send it directly to Amazon, or it goes to you first, then you send it to Amazon.
So I buy all the raw ingredients separately. It goes to the manufacturer's plant. He
Mm-hmm.
makes them all and he sends them all to Amazon. But I also have a separate warehouse if I need to like store like products.
The secret warehouse.
Yeah, secret warehouse. Because you never know, man. Sometimes like
Yeah.
Amazon won't accept stuff.
Yeah.
So you have it all at one warehouse. Like right now, I'll just like have them have like my warehouse send it out to Amazon's warehouse whenever I want.
Gotcha. Have you at the beginning you had to ship it out yourself first or no?
No, no. From day one, I sent everything to Amazon.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, so how did you like this is like funny because like you obviously went to school for chemical engineering, but you're doing all like business stuff, but you're doing the chemical
yeah,
engineering stuff too. But like
yeah.
so that this like you're almost proving that like you don't need to go to business school essentially.
Absolutely not, man. You don't need
So,
to. But
and I love it.
yeah, but like you're gonna need to learn. So
Yeah.
yeah. So whether you go to
But I'm
business
saying it
school or
proves that you
yeah.
could just go learn online by yourself.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I mean, everything I learned online or by failing. The biggest thing is get a mentor. Like if you have like someone to mentor you, that's like if someone right now I mentored someone to start their own supplement company, they've started in like 2 months flat with successful products and like be able to like generate whatever like 30, 40,000 a month in like few months.
All right, that's a good point because I talked about it yesterday. So how do you go about getting a mentor?
That's like tough, man. But what I would say is, first of all, it's all like networking. So find you need to like in your mind know what your mentor looks like, right? Because if you don't know what you're looking for, you're never gonna find it. So first of all, like in your mind, you need to understand what your mentor looks for. So I have like many mentors that I'm looking for, and I know exactly what they are. Like so for example, like if I want a supplement mentor, I need a mentor who created a supplement brand, stayed behind the scenes. He wasn't the face of the brand, created these products, has a passion for this, that, so I know exactly what that person looks like. And then I will find all the places that people like that hang out. So it's going to be different conferences, different events, and it's a ton of networking. And then once I like make all those contacts, I just put it out there. I say, hey, I'm looking for someone who looks like this. And you basically like put it out there, hey, I'm looking for someone, this is what he looks like. And from there you just you're eventually going to find them, because you put it out there and people are like, oh yeah, like you were looking for someone who owns a supplement company, right? Who like Well, there's a guy who looks just like that, and eventually, so I've met those people mainly like someone introduced me to someone, introduced me to someone, and then I meet that person, and through events. Like I'll go to a lot of events, and in those events, like I'm networking like crazy. I'm talking to everyone, and like people can smell you. So if you smell like you're desperate and you're like looking for information, you want to just take, no one's gonna help you. But if you look like you're just like a guy that's there to like, make friends with everyone and everything, everyone like loves you. And then, after that, you're like, hey man, I'm looking for someone who can help me a little bit. And then everyone just wants to help you. And you always have to be willing to like give value and help first before you can, receive something.
Yeah, for sure. So does your mentor know he's your mentor?
No. I mean, well, a couple of them do. Most of them don't. Yeah.
See,
Most of them are.
this is what I'm confused about this because the
Yeah.
girl that I had on yesterday, she said she has a mentor, and then I asked her the exact same question I just asked you because I was like, I don't think I ever had a mentor because I just
Yeah.
don't know how. I didn't know how that
So
works.
like so there's two types, right? There's the type where it's like your mentor knows he's your mentor, like he's like he tells you like, hey man, like I'm gonna take you under my wing. And then there's sometimes where it's just like you have a friend who's smarter than you, you know.
Mhm.
So a few of my mentors, they're just like my friends who are smarter than me,
Mhm.
in certain categories. Because
Yeah,
don't ever look for a mentor that's gonna mentor you in everything. Like that doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So um, and so basically, like, I'm always like, we're talking, texting, we talk about a bunch of stuff, and then I'm always like, hey man, what do you do in this situation? What would you do if you're me? Let's hop on a call. Like, I have some stuff I need help with, and we just have that relationship. We're friends, but also like he knows a lot more than me in certain things, and we just like talk all the time, and he helps me, gives me advice.
Gotcha. So yeah, how did Luis introduce like how did he introduce us? Like what did he say to you that he's gonna like link you up with me?
Dude, I have no idea. I still to this day, I keep asking you like, how do we know each other? And
I all right. So I remember he texted me and he was like, yeah, like he said your name and something about like social media or something, and then I was just like, all right, and then you just called me. So then I was just like, all right, like I didn't think it was gonna be tonight, and then I was like, all right,
yeah, dude,
so
I don't wait. I
that's
don't
it.
wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was it. So that's how I knew you were serious too, obviously.
yeah.
Because a lot of people say that to me too. Like a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I want to talk," or I test people out, and I don't think I did to you because I didn't need to, but or I don't text them back about like say we had a conversation. I don't text them at all because I want to see if they follow up with me because they're
Yeah, yeah,
asking
yeah.
me for advice or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
I
but yeah,
think so.
then I know
I know.
people is real if they're reaching back out.
Yeah, man, definitely. You have to be hungry and like, you can't get like offended if like someone doesn't like reach like, a lot of people like hit me up and like, shit's crazy. So sometimes I don't answer, but yeah, you have to like be willing to follow up, say, "Hey, I know you're busy, blah blah blah." But with you, man, I think like Mike Kimball was repping you hard, right? And I always liked the stuff that he was wearing. And I was like, "Oh man, yeah, I know PG Sports. Like it's like a clothing brand, right? I didn't even like know that it was something local or anything. And then I think Eddie one day was like, "Yo, like Paul Garino was at the gym." I was like, "Who's Paul Garino?" He's like, "PG Sports, man. It's like the stuff you're talking about." And I was like, "Oh, no way. Like, let me see what he looks like." And then he pulled it up, and I was like, "Oh, no way." And then I think I don't know, man, if like I went looking for you or something, but eventually like Lou's like, "Oh yeah, like I'll hook you up, like 'cause I think you did something with CES before." I don't
Yeah,
know, but he's like, "Yeah, I'll connect you." Because that's what I do. Like if I
yeah,
want to connect with someone, and like at that point I was like seeing like how you were like selling online and all that stuff. Because your online is way better than my online. Like my Amazon is really good, but your online is definitely way better. So I was like, man, like I gotta see like what this guy's doing for his online sales. And so that's why I was like, well, when I'm looking for someone, I'll just like find them. I'll find someone who knows them. Like I'll get to them one way or the other.
yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, it's dope. What about some fun questions? What about like who's your favorite like MMA fighter?
Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse and Khabib, but Mighty Mouse is so sick, man.
What about what's your favorite American food?
Ah, that's tough, man. Gotta be burgers.
What about
That considered American food?
yeah, for sure. Oh, did you try
Cheeseburgers.
you had an
Five
In-N-Out
Guys.
burger yet?
Yeah, In-N-Out is dope.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. I
It
mean,
lived up to the hype.
yeah. I mean, In-N-Out, Shake Shack, Five Guys, they're all really good. But In-N-Out is like $3 a burger. So it's like can't beat that.
What
Shake Shack
about
is like eight.
what what's your favorite meal over in Dubai?
Oh man, that's tough. But
Or like, what do you miss?
so there's okay, so there's like this back in Dubai. There's this food like it's Lebanese people make it, and it's almost like a pie, like a pizza, but it's like bendable. It's like bendable dough, and basically like it comes with like one topping, like cheese or like meat. Sometimes you do meat and cheese, and basically like you take that, you fold it in half, and you eat it like a sandwich. It's like a pizza sandwich. It's so good, man. I miss that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's funny. How often do you go back?
Once a year. Last year, I actually went back for like 4 months because I could work from anywhere. So I was in Egypt for 3 months, and because I kind of miss my parents and my grandma and stuff like that. So I said, yo, I can work from home, so I'm just gonna chill with them for a while. I feel like 3 months was a lot, too much. And then in and then I went a month in Dubai, and that was fucking sick. Yeah.
All right. So do you think like I'm trying to process like you live in a different country. Like, so did you come to America because you thought you couldn't be successful there, or you wanted to be
Yeah,
more successful? That's why.
exactly. Oh yeah. I mean, not that didn't think I was gonna be
Or not
not
you,
gonna be
like not you
successful.
personally, or like maybe
Yeah,
like a certain point that you wanted to get to.
yeah. I think the general like belief there is like education in the U.S. and Canada and the U.K. and like Australia is like way better than the education there in terms of like college.
Mhm.
So like coming back with a degree from there, you're just like 10 times better than a person with a degree there.
So you're like golden over there now.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it doesn't matter anymore. I own my own business, so who
Yeah,
am I trying to
yeah, yeah,
impress?
yeah, yeah. True, true, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you are you shipping out like internationally with your product?
Yeah, I ship out internationally. It's very tricky,
Yeah.
because I need to get a bunch of approvals, but I'm approved in all of the EU. Canada, it's been like 9 months. I'm waiting for for Health Canada to finalize. Mexico, we're good. Where else? Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Anywhere else like Dubai, I need to have a license to import from there. So which means I need to open up a company and stuff. So I looked at and it was gonna be like 4 grand. And I was like, I don't know if like that's like the highest ROI right now, right? Because I do the 80/20 rule all the time, and that wasn't like part of the 20%.
Gotcha. What are your future goals for MMA nutrition?
Oh man, get it like as big as possible. Like I want it to be like a household name for any like sports events like marathons. Like I want it to be the equivalent of like Gatorade. But you know, just like no sugar.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. What other like products are you working on?
So next in line, so we had the mango pineapples coming out in a little bit. I have a sleep one that's coming out in about a month or so. We have after that a pre-workout one, so it's going to be very natural, and it's just going to have caffeine and L-theanine in there. So no crazy stimulants other than caffeine. Um, then I'm going to have a recovery one, and then I'm going to have like second flavors of pretty much everything. And yeah, that's about it for now. And if I can get there and have a few flavors of every single one that's doing very well, I just kind of really want to focus on what does an athlete really need and kind of cater to that. And I feel like
Yeah.
having something to give you energy, having something to help you recover, having something, electrolytes are imperative like for any athlete. And then on top of that, like maybe a couple other things here and there that make an athlete feel good, perform better. I think that's what we're gonna stick with.
Yeah. Do you ever plan to make it actual like liquid form in bottles?
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working with a company, and so the problem is, man, like, it's true, but anything that is good for you doesn't taste good, and
Yeah.
so it's very hard to like get like the dosage of electrolytes that I want, um, in like that form, in
Yeah.
a container, and make it taste good without adding like sucralose and aspartame and like a bunch of like harmful ingredients. So I'm trying to like stay away from all of that. Um, so I'm trying to like basically do it, but make it natural. I may have to like adjust the formula a little bit here and there. May have to add like a few other ingredients that are still beneficial. But I do want to make a drink where it's a drink that you can drink and feel so good about and never have to worry and like just pop it like it's nothing.
Yeah. Do you speak any other languages?
Yeah, Arabic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I asked you a lot of questions. You got any questions for me?
Yeah, man, what are you up to? What's your goals for PG Sports?
So I've been putting it into the atmosphere, I guess you'd say. I forgot the other term. So I think I'm going to try to get my NBA agent or certification to be
N
an
N
NBA
NBA
agent.
or NBA?
No, NBA
So what are you gonna do there?
basketball agent.
What are you gonna do?
Be an agent,
Oh, you want to be a like an agent for
sports agent.
okay, gotcha. And then are you
Yeah.
gonna kind of leverage your relationships to basically have PG Sports sponsor all of your clients?
Well, no, it'll become PG Sports agency.
Okay, so it's gonna be a PG Sports agency,
Yeah.
and then everyone in that agency will
Oh
wear
yeah,
your
of course.
merchandise
Well, of
too.
course that. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, and
So I mean,
then your
that
merchandise
was,
will sell.
that was my original plan. That's what I always wanted to do was be a sports agent. That's why I created PG Sports.
I think that's amazing, man. I think you can definitely do
Yeah,
it.
and it's funny because Rock Nation pretty much did the same thing. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously they're huge, but now they
yeah.
have merch. They have merchandise that everyone
Yeah, I mean
everyone
they
wears.
didn't start huge, right? They start small,
Yeah.
just like
Oh yeah, of
everyone
course.
else. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
awesome, man. That's sick.
pretty fun. Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
what I'm trying to do now. But I mean, I'm doing a lot of I mean, you already kind of know I'm doing marketing for athletes now, so that's already
yeah.
and just utilize their connections hopefully and get somebody.
Are you gonna go hard about that? Like, are you gonna go all in?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously the Corona thing is kind of messing stuff up.
Kind
But
of. You can still get a lot done, man.
oh yeah, no, I'm doing a lot of stuff right now. But
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like I can't like regardless. So the test I messed up because the test is only once a year in January, and
Hmm.
the deadline was like November or like October or something. I checked in November, and
Oh,
I
that's
was like,
all good,
damn.
man.
So yeah,
Just have all your clients lined up, and then as soon as January hits and you take that test and you become certified, you're like, yo, I'm an agent now, and then they all come to you, and you have like a
yeah,
hundred, a hundred clients at once.
yeah, pretty much. Because I had calls before where they're like, "Yo, could you just be my agent?" And I'm just like,
Hmm.
"Well, I would want to, but I'm not certified, so I technically can't." You know.
Gotcha. Are you
So
focusing on do you have to do one for NBA and one for women's NBA, or it's the same?
so WNBA, yeah, anyone could get it. Pretty much, you just pay a fee.
Okay, why don't you start there, man? You're doing a
Yeah,
lot of good work with the WNBA.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's my plan. I'm gonna get that. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like it's easy. So
That can be something to do
yeah,
until you get
yeah,
your NBA one.
yeah, yeah,
Awesome,
definitely.
man. I love it, man. You're always killing
So
it, bro.
trying,
Yeah,
trying,
awesome, man.
I'm trying to be like you now.
Nah,
Yeah. I gotta get a product on Amazon now.
dude, if you want help, I got you.
What's my product? What should it be? Should I make some water bottles?
You got to do something unique, man. Something like,
Yeah, water bottles is unique.
yeah, you got to do something unique that people want to buy, like something that you yourself would buy, something that all your athletes are gonna use.
Water
Think about it,
bottles.
man. Man, you know how many
So,
water bottles I got at home?
yo, but all right. So this is the thing. This is the only reason I'm saying it because every year, right? I go over to my cousin's house for like a holiday, right? Every
Hmm.
year, it's like they're using a different kind of water bottle. That's like that's hip for that year. Like
Yeah, because
two
they
years
just
ago, it
keep
was the
throwing.
swell. 2 years ago, it was the swell bottles, and then this year it's the high. I don't know what it's called, but something with an H. I forgot what it is. So I'm just like, so one, they're not staying constant, so that's good and bad, but yeah,
Yeah.
water bottles.
I don't know, man. I mean, water bottles is great for merch, but I don't know. I think you could come up with something more unique,
Oh yeah,
something
for
that
sure.
will kill it. Yeah. But I got you, man. When the time comes, I definitely got you.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. If there's anything else you want to plug in,
Oh
um,
man, MMA Nutrition. Check us out, Hydrolyte on Amazon. It's the best electrolyte supplement in the market. I invented it, so I know for a fact that it's the best. Because
oh,
nothing on
what
the
about
market
has?
was good.
Oh, I got another. Has anybody reached out to buy you out?
Uh, no. Yeah.
Is that one of your goals?
I mean, I'm building the business like I'm gonna own it forever, right? So I'm
Yeah.
making sure that it's very profitable, very cash flow, very liquid. But yeah,
All right.
if
All
someone
right.
makes the
Scenario question: if someone offered you $1 million right now, would you take it?
no, not a million. You know what? Actually, $1 million right now, probably I'll take it. Yeah, I can start another company like 10 times better. I'll just do everything. I mean, I'll just do
Yeah.
everything as
See,
long as I can.
that's what I always think too. I'm like, all right, well, maybe it wouldn't be that much. Like, it doesn't sound like that much, but I was like, yeah, I can just start something else.
Yeah, I think with a million, definitely. You take what you need in terms of bills, which is not going to be much, right?
Mm.
Maybe less than 10% of that, maybe 10% of that. And then with the other money, like if I start with 100,000, like I start with 500 MMA nutrition.
Yeah, that's what.
If I start with my knowledge of the 100,000, I think I can do 10 times better. So yeah, I mean, I would do it. Um, but I want to get to a point where it's like, the growth is gonna be bigger than the money. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I need you to like offer me like 4 times the yearly profit of the company, and then that's like,
yeah,
something good.
yeah, definitely. Well, appreciate you coming on, and obviously we're always be in touch. So
Awesome, man.
yeah, hopefully all this ends soon, and then everything starts booming again.
Yes, sir. Keep killing
I'll
it,
see.
man.
I'll see you. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for having me, man. Take it easy.